All right, what's up, Real Deal Video Strategist Club and everybody that's joining as guests. We are super pumped to have you guys here for today's training. Pretty dang excited about this because we're going to talk about direct primary care. Direct primary care is kind of a new way of doing medicine, and quite honestly, because it's new and because it's disrupting the medical industry as we know it, it is a hot spot to go and land video production clients, and we're going to dig into it today. So just to give everybody a heads up of exactly what it is that we are doing, I guess I should come over to my camera so you guys can see me. So you guys know what it is that we are doing today, tomorrow, and Friday. What we are doing is a 3-part series where we're going to take you through an entire sales process. Meaning that this person, this direct primary care practice is coming to you and saying, hey, we're interested in creating videos, and you're taking them from that inquiry all the way through closing the deal. Okay, so day one today, we are going to go through a discovery process. What questions need to be asked during your initial meeting so that you can actually present them with a strategy that makes sense and is going to get them results, and a strategy that they are going to say yes to. They're going to say, yes, I'm going to sign the contract. I'm going to sign a check over to you. We're going to move forward, and I'm going to pay you a lot of money to create videos for my direct primary care practice. That all begins in discovery. Tomorrow, well, actually, I should say tonight, after this meeting, what I'm going to want you guys to do is I'm going to want you to put some ideas, pen to pad, and come up with a strategy for this business based on the discovery that we do today. And tomorrow, when we all come back to the meeting tomorrow, we're going to put all these ideas together. I'm talking about video types. What types of videos do they need? Who are their audiences? What are the distribution platforms that are available that might make sense? We're going to put an entire strategy together. And then on Friday, we are going to close a deal. So basically, we're going to come back with the strategy that we kind of put together and we all brainstorm together. And we're going to go through closing a deal with a direct primary care practice. This is going to be a ton of fun. And I think that it's going to have a lot of value for everybody. So it looks like everybody's hopping on now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I did want to give you guys just a little bit of time because I know everybody's probably hopping on a minute or two late, and there was a lot of people that wanted to join. So if you missed what I was talking about, hopefully you can catch up because I don't want to repeat it. And we're already 5 minutes into this thing. So with that said, I need 2 volunteers, preferably somebody that is going to be back tomorrow. Yeah, somebody is going to be back tomorrow. So if you're planning on being back tomorrow, unmute and let me know that you want to volunteer to do something.
You got me.
Colton, I got you. Who else?
Number 2, Alan.
Colton and Alan, my dudes, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all are the real deal, for real. Okay, here's what we're going to do. So Colton, you are going to be, we're basically going to role play, okay? You are going to be the video strategist. I am going to be the direct primary care doctor that thinks I might need video, okay? And you are going to run us through a discovery meeting. Now, you're not going to do this by yourself. That's why I got Alan, okay? Alan, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you monitor the chat. And you are going to feed the questions over to Colton. You guys are going to kind of team up on that. You're going to say, okay, hey, listen, David Lou asked a good question, and let's bring David Lou over, or whatever it is. Just kind of team up, and Alan, you keep a track of the questions coming in. What I want you guys to do is ask questions that you think might help you out in creating a video strategy for a direct primary care doctor. Does that make sense? Does the exercise make sense to everybody? Okay. And I am going to keep a track of all the questions up here on the vibe board. I'll write them all down, and we can work it like that. What do you think? Alan, Colton, you guys good with that? Thumbs up if you are. Good. Okay, everybody else that's watching, thumbs up if you guys are good for this and want to throw some questions into the mix. Okay, the whole point of this is to uncover all the needs that this doctor might have. That way we can formulate a video strategy that is going to address those needs. All right. So let's go ahead and kick it off with this. let's just say, Colton, that I came to you and I said, hey, Colton, I'm curious about video. I've got a direct primary care practice. I think I might need this. And I'd like to talk to you, and you've set up a discovery meeting, and now here we are. Okay. So usually the first question, I'll kind of start out, the first question is, all right, so, obviously tell us a little bit about what it is that you do, right? Like I need an explanation. Okay. So here I go. I'm going to go into character. Let's see how many times I can stay in character without breaking character. But okay. Yeah. So my name is Dr. David, and I have a direct primary care practice. And I'm assuming probably a lot of people don't know what that is, and mainly because it's new. It's a new way of doing or practicing medicine. So Colton, basically, as long as you and I have gone to the doctor, anytime you go to the doctor, basically you're bringing your insurance card. All right, you have insurance to pay for your primary care doctor, for your ER visits, for your specialists, for your x-rays, for your ultrasounds, anything that you ever do with the doctor, you're pretty much bringing your insurance card. What's happened over the past 40 or 50 years is the insurance industry has basically taken over medicine, and the insurance industry is dictating what doctors are able to do for their patients and the care that they're able to give to their patients. And what I mean by that is basically everybody's a dollar amount. Every patient is adding to the bottom line, and the insurance companies want to bump up the, obviously the revenue for the bottom line. And what this is doing is it's driving down the quality of care for patients. Colton, have you ever realized, or when's the last time you went to your direct primary care physician? Has it been a while?
As in my client?
No. Like you. When's the last time you personally
Oh,
went to see your primary care doctor?
probably a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, so you don't go that much. Usually it's kind of a pain in the butt to get there. A lot of times what people tell me is that when they go to their primary care doctor, they go in there and then the doctor gets to see them for like 5 or 6 minutes, and that's pretty much it. They'll give them a prescription, and then that's kind of it. Is that similar to the experience that you've had in a doctor's office?
For sure. They just sign a paper and call it a day.
Okay. So the reason this is because you have the insurance companies and the third-party administrators within a hospital or doctor's office basically telling a doctor, you need to see anywhere between 7 to 10 patients per hour, right? So 7 to 10 patients per hour is not a lot of time when you think about it. There's only 60 minutes an hour. So if I see 10 patients, how many minutes do I get to spend with each patient?
6 minutes.
That's if I teleport from one waiting or from one room to the next room, right? And there's no wasted time in between. So on average, a primary care physician is spending maybe 5 to 6 minutes per patient. And there's not a lot you can do in 5 or 6 minutes. Okay. So I give you all this information because this is the problem that direct primary care physicians like myself are trying to solve. And what direct primary care is that we are turning medicine into a subscription-based model. Now, this is not necessarily a new model in business, but it definitely is a new model in medicine. So what I mean by subscription-based is very much like a gym membership. So you pay a gym membership, or we'll call it a doctor membership, every month, and we completely cut out the insurance agency, right? You just pay that membership to my practice, and you get to come to see me basically whenever you need. As a doctor, this allows me to control how many patients I'm able to see and the care that I'm able to give to them. So on average, I spend anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour with each patient that I see every day. I don't have insurance companies telling me that I need to order extra tests when I don't think they're necessary. I don't have insurance companies telling me that I need to speed things up or I need to prescribe more medicines or anything like this. Basically, what we're doing is cutting the insurance out for like 80% of what you would need medicine-wise, right? If you can come to your doctor on a pretty regular basis, and it's easy to set up appointments and you get to spend a lot of time with your doctor, you're going to come see me regularly and it's going to be easy. And I can take care of 80% of the stuff that you are going to need taken care of. Now, obviously, there's things like you get in a car accident or you have some sort of catastrophic, illness or something like that. or it's going to require a different level of care that your primary care doctor can't provide for you. So there is still a place to have small amounts of insurance to cover that kind of stuff. But like 80% of your care can be taken care of through a subscription-based model. And that's what direct primary care does. So to answer your question and tell you a little bit about myself and kind of what I do, that's the idea. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to move over here to the Vibe board, guys. That way we can do, I can get all the questions that you guys are asking. So start thinking about questions that you want to ask this doctor, Dr. David, that are going to help you understand what you need to understand to be able to come up with a video strategy. Okay. Y'all able to see my Vibe board? I think it should be up and running, right? Good. Okay, cool. Who's got a question for Dr. David?
All right. First question is from David Liu. In the chat here, he said, what makes you interested in a video strategy?
What makes me interested in a video strategy? Well, so here's the thing. This is brand new, and there's not a lot of people that know about what we're doing. And the only way for me to, I think, get information out there is to somehow have videos. There's people, and oh, did I switch over to the wrong? There we go. There's other doctors. Obviously, I have colleagues. There's people that have been doing this for a couple of years. I've seen that they have videos. I'm trying to fill up my book of patients in my practice to a point where I'm maxed out, and then I can grow by bringing on another doctor. But I think obviously marketing sounds like a good idea to me. All right, who's up next?
Awesome. Next question is from Luigi. He said, how would you like to be seen from a patient? What's your message?
Can you clarify that question? I don't understand that.
My interpretation, let me know if I'm wrong, Luigi, is how would you like your patients to view you? So basically, if I'm a patient, how should I perceive your practice? Am I right about that?
So the way
Yeah,
that
that's right.
Go ahead, Luigi, ask that question.
No, that's exactly right. Like, what is your, like, when someone watches your video, what would you like them to feel? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So you guys just have to excuse my spelling. I got terrible spelling. Okay, so Luigi, I got you. How do you want people to perceive you? Well, here's the thing. A lot of us don't really understand this because we're not old enough to have seen this, but 50 years ago, there was very much a system where people felt like they actually had a relationship with their doctor, and their doctor knew them by their first name, saw them all the time, knew what was going on in their health and on a regular basis. And that doesn't exist anymore. Most primary care physicians have no idea who's coming into their office. They've seen them, like Colton, you said you haven't been to your primary care doctor in a year and a half. Chances are your doctor doesn't really remember you. I don't want that to be the case. I want my patients to be able to have a relationship with me. I want to know what's going on with their health for a few reasons. That way I can practice preventative medicine, right? Let's make sure that you're healthy all the time and you're doing the things that you have to do to remain healthy. That way you don't have to come to me when you have these spikes in your health that when you're not feeling well. Let's prevent that to begin with. So basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is I want people to see me as a doctor the way people saw doctors 50 years ago, somebody that they could build a relationship with and feel comfortable on a different level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, awesome. More questions, send them in. No question's a dumb question. Let's get them all out, because the more questions we ask, the more we can dig into a video strategy tomorrow.
All right, next question is from Colton. He's already getting into it. So if you were to talk 12 months from now, what would have to happen for this campaign to be a success?
That's a real good question. So Right now, I am at about, I launched my practice a year ago. I would say that I'm at about 65% capacity of the amount of patients that I can take. In the next, I guess in the next 12 months, you're asking me what my goal is. I would personally like to see my book of patients be above 90%, maybe even 95, getting close to maxing out. And the reason I want to get there is because if I can get there, then I can bring on another doctor to the practice and then we can fill them up. But first steps first, I want to go from 65% full to 90+% full. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm sorry, I'm answering his question. Let's go. So we'll move to the next question.
Yep.
All right. So next question, Dr. David. It's awesome. From Oleg. Dr. David, you're interested in just video brand? Are you interested in just video branding or complete marketing funnels with ROI tracking and other good stuff?
So do me a favor, Oleg, clarify what you mean by video branding, and because you got to understand that I think I know a little bit about this stuff, but I'm a doctor. So can you clarify that up a little bit? And Oleg, you can unmute, dude.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Basically, I am asking how far into Facebook advertisement and Google Ads are you looking to get into in order to build like actual funnel with remarketing and other like neat features of social media marketing and Google versus just having a trifecta in a good, well-built website, that kind of landing page to people to look at. Does it make sense?
Yep. Okay, so I'm not sure what you mean by a trifecta. I mean, I do, but Dr. David doesn't, because Dr. David's a doctor. He doesn't know what a trifecta is. So you're asking me, how much do I want to use social media advertising? So I think it's a good idea. I think it's smart. I'm kind of relying upon you to be able to give me that information. Obviously, I see people advertise online a lot, and my social media pages when I'm there. Not quite sure what to tell you there. I mean, I'd probably ask you, do you think it's necessary? I don't know. And Oleg, keep in mind, this kind of stuff that you're going to get from people who don't know advertising. As a video strategist, I know what I'm going to tell you, right? I know, I already know that question, but I'm in the role of Dr. David here. So as Dr. David, I don't know. What do you think?
I think I got to do my part in convincing Dr. David to push for social media and distribution strategies together with video advertisement.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it. That's kind of why we reached out to you, but I don't know. I'm no idea. Okay, next question.
All right, next question is from David Liu. He said, what is the average value of one patient signing up for your services?
Good question. Average value of a patient. David, sounds like you've taken my training. So average value of a patient. Okay, so I guess what you're meaning is how much I make off of one patient. So the subscription that we currently run is $75 a month for one adult. And obviously we do that over a contract period, so a year. So 75 times 12. I don't know the math, guys. Whatever 75 times 12 is. Somebody do that for me real quick. For a family, like a family of two with a kid, it's a little bit reduced, and we're looking, per person, but we're going to be looking at about $190 per family of 3 per month, is what we would make if we had a new family or just an individual person join. Good question, David.
Awesome. Next question is from Daryl Fernandez. He said, I'd love to hear some success stories in regard to your experience and how they found out about you. And in parentheses, reason to ask is to get the doctor on a nice vibe and feel positive about the discussion and found out how they got their current leads. I like that plug, Daryl.
Can you read that to me one more time?
Sure, I'll just read the question this time.
Okay.
I'd love to hear some success stories in regards to your experience and how did they find out about you?
Yeah, so I went to medical school and I came out of medical school and I thought things were going to be awesome, right? I thought I was going to go to a practice and I was just absolutely going to love it. Honestly, I hated it. I was worn out, totally hated it. So I moved to direct primary care. It was a pretty big gamble for me to do that. But once I was able to do that, I was able to start kind of really understanding my patients and building those relationships. I have one in particular, a lady, and there's HIPAA here, so I can't give names or specifics about their illness, but I can give you in general that this one lady, she was having, quite a bit of hard time keeping her energy levels high. And we were able to figure out through her diet, which is something that primary care physicians in the insurance-based industry would never really look at diet. They'll probably just prescribe you something for energy. We were able to really dig into her diet and figure out what was going on there and realize that she had some allergies to certain foods that she was eating. And honestly, it doesn't sound like a lot, but to be able to see somebody's energy level go from here to here, it was pretty rewarding, mainly because she was one of my first patients. And to see that I had the ability to spend at least an hour a month with her, maybe even 2 hours a month figuring this out, really helped me to address her medical needs and not just prescribe her a medicine that the insurance company told me to prescribe or, whatever it was. So I believe that she heard from me from another direct primary care physician who practices on the other side of town. She was not able to go to his practice because it's kind of far away. So he referred her over to me when I was kind of getting started, and she's been with me for quite some time now. Does that answer your question, Daryl?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Of course. Keep sending questions.
All right, awesome. This one is from me. I slipped in there too, from Alan A. What have you used in the past for your marketing, and are you satisfied with the results you've been seeing from it?
Okay. What have you used in the past, and are you satisfied with the results? Honestly, it's all been word of mouth. I launched my practice, and like I just said, I got some referrals from colleagues, other direct primary care physicians who their book of patients was already maxed out, and they sent them over to me. A couple of family members have come over to me that way, but I guess where I'm at is that I've been doing this for 3.5 years and I'm only at 65% capacity. I still have the ability to go further. And I want to grow my business. So I am satisfied that I'm getting business, but only being able to get to 65% capacity at this point is not where I thought that I was going to be. So yeah, that's in large part, that's why I'm reaching out to you, is because there's got to be a different way than just waiting for word of mouth. Because again, not many people really understand DPC. They don't understand the concept. Most of them haven't even heard it. Honestly, there's a lot of doctors that even haven't heard of DPC. So waiting for word of mouth to kind of kick in is taking forever. I want to grow my practice sooner than later. So I'm not upset, but I'm not terribly thrilled with the speed at which I've been able to grow my book of patients.
Dope. I got the next question, but I wanted to ask you just to specify, Dr. David, what did you mean by DPC?
Direct primary care.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Next question is from Luigi. He says, we are going to need content. So how much time do you have to dedicate to a project like this on a monthly basis?
Good question, Luigi. I'm at 65% capacity, which means that I could take on another 45% or whatever, 35%. I've got time because I'm not full right now. So time-wise, I could probably budget anywhere between 12 to 15 hours a week. Good question.
Next question is from Joshua Baker, doubling his Lori. He said, what are your current patients? And are there any ideal patients? And by who he means, how old are they? What are the genders, average household income, geographic location, etc.?
Okay, target demographic and current patients. Josh, I think I know what you're getting at. Currently, my practice is in the suburbs of Austin. It's out in Bee Caves. So the demographic in Austin is in that area is a little bit, it's an affluent area. There's a little bit more money in the area. Not to say that I wouldn't accept patients from elsewhere. I would really, it doesn't matter to me, but I do prefer to have patients that come with families, right? Like I want to treat entire families. I would love to see, a patient come in and they're pregnant, right? And then they have a kid, and then I'm treating that kid until that kid has kids. Like that, I want that to happen. So I want my practice to be very family based. And I would much prefer that, but I'm open to anything from, kids and pediatrics to geriatrics. Currently, I would say that about 75% of my current patients are families, and the other 25% are individual folks. Male, female, ages are a wide range. Also, I prefer that they live within a certain radius of my practice, although that's not necessary because I do telemedicine. So if for whatever reason they're on the other side of town and they need a doctor's visit, but they can't drive all the way over, we can schedule a telemedicine visit if it's something that I feel that we can cover through that medium, and I can treat people that way. But it's always easier. I think that it's better when you can come and sit in the office and we can talk and really get into whatever's making you not feeling well or whatever it is. So within a certain radius, families preferred. Good question.
And forgive me, I'm taking a sec because I'm actually writing down the answers as you say them too. So Dr. David, next question. And this from Thielen Board. It's kind of a repeat question from before, but Dr. D, what other forms of advertisement / marketing have you used in the past, and how do they work out for you?
Good question. Okay. So yeah, I've tried a couple of things. There's a publication in my local area, a magazine that's distributed to the Bee Caves area. And again, it's a more affluent area. So, people will advertise in that publication. There'll be some spotlight businesses that they put in the publication. It's basically a magazine that gets distributed to the households in the area. I tried that. I got some people to come in. I think I got my money back, which is okay. I don't think that I got a giant return on investment. And honestly, I was kind of blind. I had no idea like who was looking at it or who wasn't until they came in and I was able to ask them. So I tried that. That didn't work so well. I also tried some radio ads. Radio ads were tough. Again, it was kind of casting a wide net to see if we could catch some people to come in. I think my biggest qualm with that was that, again, I have no idea who's hearing it, right? And I don't know where they're at when they're listening to the radio ad. I don't know how to try to generate a conversation with them from the radio ad. It was kind of blind. And I think I was breaking even, but again, if they worked as well as radio and that magazine said that they were going to work, I should be well above 65% of my book capacity in 3 years, and I'm not there yet. So there's got to be a better way. I'm hoping that you actually might have it.
Awesome. Next question. Oh, go ahead. Somebody saying something? All right, cool. Next question is from David Liu. He said, how many more patients do you have to book to get from 65% to 90% full of capacity?
How many more patients do you need to reach 90%? David, I need 30 more patients to get to 90%.
Awesome. I'm going to tie in a question he added a little bit after that is, okay, what happens if you don't achieve your goal of increasing your capacity from 65% to 90%?
I'm gonna write this down. Okay, so what happens if you don't hit 90%? Honestly, it's gonna put my practice at risk. It was a huge risk to launch this to begin with, and going up against, the primary care doctors that are down the street who have been around forever, and they've got these big practice, insurance-based practices, and trying to compete with them is a giant risk, and it always will be. I've been able to continue to kind of break even every month. I've been able to pay myself a little bit, but certainly not as much as I want to. My staff, I'd like to be able to keep them on staff. And right now things are just tight. They're not bad. They're not horrendous. They're tight. We have to manage. But again, I've got this capacity. I have this extra percentage of time that I don't have booked up. If I filled that up, then we would be smoking. We would be rolling, right? That would be great for us to get to 90, 95%. It'd be even better for us to get to a point where we had a wait list and I can start bringing on another doctor, right? If I can bring on another doctor and I can fill up their book of patients, not only from a financial perspective, that's great, but also from a satisfaction perspective. knowing that we're helping people in a better way and we're able to help more of those people in a better way, that would be, hand in hand, financially and fulfilling my professional needs. I think both are pretty important. So yeah, we need to get to 90% minimum this year.
Ooh, that gym. Okay, next one is from Nate Merck. Who is your ideal patient? What kind of person would be looking for this model?
Okay, I'm going to go with the second question because I already gave the ideal patient. That was Nate.
Yes.
Dude, every time I play on this vibe board and it reads my terrible handwriting, I'm so impressed.
I'm sitting here looking at that too.
Yeah. Okay, so who would be interested in this? Honestly, it's my feeling that if I can get people into my doctor's office and I can explain to them kind of what I'm explaining to you now, I think anybody would be interested in it. I mean, like even just having a conversation with you right now, you're probably thinking, yeah, I go to the doctor, I pay a copay, they see me for 5 minutes, they give me a prescription, they kick me out. And I'm thinking, like, why did I even bother to go to the doctor? That was pointless, right? Or they send me to a specialist and they're like, go over there, right? And I just paid a copay and now I got to pay my policy premium and now I got to go spend my time over here. And going to the doctor sucks. Like, honestly, it's a pain in the butt. And I think that anybody really would be interested if they just knew that this existed. Families, certainly, especially if they've got kids and they want to bring their kids in and keep their kids healthy. Families on the go that, they're like, I don't have time to come in, but my kid's coughing this morning. Can you do a telephone visit or a telemedicine or a Skype call medicine or whatever it is? I think people like that would work great. I think people who have chronic, not illness, well, chronic illness, but chronic like unwellness, I guess we could call it, where they just don't feel good and they can't figure it out. Like being able to prevent that from happening over a long period of time, like diagnosing it and then preventing it. People who are interested in just feeling better and being able to work with a doctor who practices medicine, not practices insurance, but practices medicine with the best intention of the patient in mind. That's the kind of people that I would want to obviously have in my practice. And I think that's anybody. I honestly think that's anybody. Okay, time out. So even talking to you guys, and I'm going to sit down real quick, right? And let me go to this view. Okay, so how many of you guys have ever heard of direct primary care? Thumbs up. And if you guys could show your faces too, that'd be great. Or just give me a thumbs up on the thing. Nobody's heard of it. We've got like 2 thumbs up. Okay. So nobody's ever heard of it. That's why I'm saying that this type of practice is begging to get the information out there. And what I know, and I'm obviously trying to act it. They know it way better than I do because they do it for a living. But based on what I'm talking about, is this kind of practice or this kind of medicine or doctor something that you would be interested in just because of your experience with the doctors you've always gone to? Open mic.
Are you asking, is this something I would be interested in?
Yeah, like, I mean, as a consumer that goes to a doctor, like when you're hearing the doctor, when you're hearing Dr. David sitting here talking about this and you've never heard about this before, is this something that you'd be like, okay, well, obviously I want to make videos for this person, but this actually sounds a pretty good idea for me to go visit this kind of doctor instead of my other primary care doctor?
I've had a variety, personally, I've had a variety of chronic physical issues. I do a lot of athletic endeavors. So like I was a cyclist and a lifter and all these things, but they turned into chronic issues. And I don't go to the doctor specifically because it's a pain in the butt, just like you said. So like I end up diagnosing it myself in the internet and like working myself out at home. And like I have a neighbor who's a doctor who tells me what to do. And I like bring him beers and he's like, yeah, man, just do this, dude. Like, so I like worked my way around the insurance. This is a great idea. I've never heard of this. So like, I'm definitely going to look into what you're talking about.
Okay. See, look, the direct primary care field is going to be thankful that I just told 40 people about this kind of medicine, right? It's just a different way of doing medicine. You pay your subscription, you get to go see your doctor. You can see them as much as they want. The DPC doctors that I've worked with and created videos for, they're like, if you want to come visit me once a week and the schedule's available, you come visit me once a week and we'll talk for half an hour. Some people will come once a week. Some people will come once a month. Some, you know what I'm saying? Like there's flexibility to be able to do that. And it's just a different way of doing medicine. You don't have to bring your insurance card. Just show up and let's figure out what's going on. So it's a different way. But I'm glad you guys are getting, and this is why I'm trying to do this training, is that way you guys know that this DPC exists and how hungry they are to get the word out there. If you can make connection with a DPC doctor and you can talk to them about expanding their practice and helping them get the word out, they'll pay a lot of money. I know this firsthand. Okay, what other questions we got?
I have a question.
Yep.
For example, I have an insurance policy that is $250 per month, and it has a limit $2,000 in order, how is it called? In order for insurance to kick in. So if I switch to catastrophic insurance that is cheap for bad stuff and spend the rest of money for DCP services, what kind of tiers of service you have, or do you have uniform pricing for every patient? And basically, how much will it cost yearly and monthly?
That's a really good question. That sounds like a question that a patient would ask. Who was that?
Oleg.
Oleg, that was a good question. Okay, so you're talking about, you've got your deductible, right? So you're obviously paying your monthly premium to your insurance, but when you go to the doctor, they say, well, hey, listen, you've got to pay $1,000 first before we pay the rest of this. So that's another reason, right? Like you're already paying for the insurance. Why can't you just pay for the stuff like the insurance? Why can't the insurance pay for what you need? They make you pay an extra $1,000 before they start picking stuff up. So Oleg, what I try to educate my clients with is that you're going to need insurance, right? Unfortunately, I can only take care of about 80% of your medical needs. That's average, right? That your primary care physician should be able to take care of 80% of the things that you need, but you never know, right? You might break your leg, right? Or you might get diagnosed, or we might find that you have a severe illness that, you know, requires treatment that I can't provide. So you're going to need insurance. So what I educate my clients to do and my patients is to change their insurance to catastrophic insurance only, with a high deductible. The higher the deductible, the less expensive the premium is, right? We're kind of betting on the fact that you're not really ever going to have to use that as much as you're going to have to use your primary care physician. So you can pay lower on the premium and then put some money aside in the event that you ever have an accident and need to go to the emergency room, you know, and then you can pay $1,000 deductible and they can cover the catastrophic stuff. And then because you're reducing you're increasing your deductible and you're reducing your coverage, then you can shift that money over to pay for your subscription to your primary care doctor, and we can help you maintain your health and treat 80% of what you need. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then another question, do doctors in direct primary care have tiers of subscription like basic, advanced, pro, like unlimited, or it's uniform usually around all kind of clients? Or does it depend on age? Do you factor in kind of pre-existing conditions? I don't know if it's too much to ask.
No, these are all good questions. And I'm glad you're asking these, Oleg, because these are the type of questions that are going to start to shape and form your content, right? And I'm going to time out here, so I'm out of Dr. David role. This is going to shape and form your content because you were going to start to answer the questions that a typical person would ask, right? A typical patient that's never heard of direct primary care is going to ask these exact same questions. So is there video content that you can create that is going to answer these questions, right? What is this going to do for Dr. David if you can provide that value in educating the public as to this? Okay, so hit me with that question one more time, Oleg, and actually let me write your last question.
How do you have, what kind of pricing structure do you have for subscription services, and what type of benefits I got if you have tiers? And another one, if I have pre-existing, do you consider pre-existing condition and health history in determining your price? And if I got already heart disease or some kind of pre-existing cancer, do you accept patients with this kind of level of problems?
Really good question. Okay. So is pricing uniform? Do you consider pre-existing conditions? Really, really good questions, Oleg. Those are three outstanding questions you just asked. Okay, pricing. Yeah, Oleg, pricing is uniform. Again, we have our model where it's $75 for an individual person per month. And then as you add people on, like if it's you and your wife, or you and your wife and one kid, you and your wife and two kids, then, we add on per person. The more people that go on to your subscription, the less money per person it is. So we start at 75, but if you end up having 4 people on the plan, then it's $60 per person per month, if that makes sense. As far as pre-existing conditions, the reason you're asking this is because insurance companies are going to dictate whether or not somebody can get insurance and can be seen by a doctor because of their pre-existing condition. That is another reason why DPC is awesome, is because the insurance companies over there, like, we're not listening to them. I want to treat you. So it doesn't matter to me if you have a pre-existing condition, because you're paying for your subscription, and your subscription gets you access to your primary care doctor, which is me. And I'm going to treat you regardless if you have a pre-existing condition or not. Oleg, is that good information to know so that you can put into your content that you're going to create for this doctor?
It sounds good.
Okay, awesome. How about we do somewhere between 3 to 5 more questions? Alan, do we have any questions queued up?
Oh, we got about 20.
I'll go if you guys want to stay. I really will.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm with
stay
it.
here and I'll answer them all.
Same here. I might grab a plate, but I'm listening. I'm in.
Okay, let's send them in.
All right, next one is from Daryl Fernandez. He said, are you also open to approaching corporate organizations and be the doctor of choice, or are you happy to stick with individuals?
Oh, I totally misspelled that one. Organizations. All right. Well, you guys get it. Organizations. You know what would be awesome? And Daryl, this is something that's kind of on the growth opportunity that I would love to get to. I'm at 65%. What I'd like to do is get to 95%. And then when I'm able to bring on another doctor, what I'd like to do is partner with employers. people that have staff of anywhere between, say, 10 to 100 people, companies that want to provide a medical benefit to their employees, but they're maybe too small to afford being able to provide all out medical insurance, right? If you go work for a big corporation, they can negotiate better insurance rates because they have 3,000 people, right? So people buy insurance through their employer. If you're working at a small mom and pop kind of location that has 20 employees, that mom and pop might not be able to provide a medical benefit to their employees. And the reason that that's a big problem is because getting good workers is hard to do, and keeping good employees around at your business is even harder. So once you've got somebody employed and they're doing work for your business, as a business owner, you want to try to keep them there and keep them happy. So if we got to a point where I maxed out my book of clients and I was able to bring on another doctor, and we were able to target employers and bring on 10 sets of families, and that employer could pay for the subscription for their employees for their families as their medical benefit, I think that would be awesome. I think that would be really cool. It would allow me to build the book of clients for an additional doctor, but then it would also not only help those families, but it would also help that business keep their employees. Does that make sense? Really good question. Really, really good question. I was hoping
that specific answer sells the strategy by itself.
I agree. And this was something, there's a few things that I am going, if you guys missed them, I'll bring up at the very end. That was one of them. You uncovered an absolute gem with that question. Who asked that?
Me. Yeah,
Nice.
the reason why is because the first question was to get them excited. Then actually, when you're riding that wave of excitement and talking about video, is to actually blow it apart and say, look, I understand that you want to get bigger and better, but how wide do you want to cast your net? Are you still happy to provide that personal service, but can you provide that personal service to a corporate company? And would you be willing to explore that? Because these guys want to grow, and that's probably one of the best ways to grow through a corporate organization. So it's the case of actually planting that seed in their mind to actually think that you're successful by suggesting that, and you're going to use video going forward.
Absolutely. Really, really, really good question. To answer your question again, maybe not giant corporations, but I really think the direct primary care in my practice could help out small to medium-sized businesses that want to provide some sort of medical benefit to their employees.
I think it's good as well because you frames how you create your content. What type of content do you want to actually create? And it builds a understanding of how you talk to your audience and how you should communicate with them as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Next question.
Awesome. Next question is from Lee Chadell. What's going on? So she said, do you have a niche basically, do you have a niche are you in internal medicine and oversee the overall general health of your patients combined with needed specialists? So basically, I think she's asking, do you have a niche of market that you treat, or do you basically have specialists that take care of the needs of the patients? Let me know if I'm missing the mark.
I think I'm a general practitioner, right? So I'm a family doctor. Family doctor, your primary care physician is going to treat the wide range of everything, right? You got athlete's foot, come on in. I can hook you up with some stuff that'll fix that. You got a strep throat.
Correct. And what I'm asking is, then do you also have a network behind you where you refer them out to the specialist, but you remain the primary care for that specific patient, because patients want to know that my doctor's looking at the whole picture for me.
Lay, you nailed it on the head. I love it. I love it. Because this is what people are going to ask, right? Like, okay, well, say for instance, you have to send me to a specialist. Say for instance, you think that I might have, this disease. Like, what do we do then? Like, and that's something that people want to know. So yes, what I've done is I have in my practice partnered up with specialists that I trust, people in the medical community that I know I can send my patients to. I've also been able to negotiate slightly better rates at those specialists. So if I had to send you to that specialist because we have that relationship that's a little bit more direct, I've been able to reduce some of the prices. Obviously, you're gonna have to use your insurance when you go to specialists and whatnot. But again, that's the 20%. I handle the 80% of your healthcare needs. I do have a network of specialists that I would refer you to in the event that you need a specialist. Very, very, very good question.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Let me
Go ahead.
let me write that one down because that one was good. Really good question, Lay. I love that. Okay, next question.
Awesome. Next question is from, let's see, where am I here? I'm everywhere. Okay, next one is from Oleg. He said, Dr. David, do you have a specific budget that you would like to explore different options, or would you like to explore different options for different prices?
All right. I knew that was going to come out eventually, right? What's your budget? Oleg, I'm not sure what to budget. I don't know. I've never done anything like this. I could tell you how much I spent on the publication. I could tell you how much I spent on radio ads. I don't know if video is any different. Would it help if I told you how much I spent on that stuff, or is that completely different?
Yeah, it might help because if somebody spends like 5,000 per month on road banners, that tells me a lot about what kind of strategy can I offer.
Okay. So for the publication, I believe that I was paying $1,000 a month to have a half a page in one of their magazines. So $1,000 a month for that. Radio ads were a little bit more expensive. I think if I remember right, I was paying $2,000 a month for the radio ads, plus I had to have them created. I think that's it. I think that's the correct number. What's your budget? I was wondering when somebody was going to ask me that. I'm actually very proud of you guys that you guys went through probably 25 questions before we got to the what's your budget. I like that. Good stuff. Okay, what else we got next, Alan?
All right, so we got a note, and we got the next question. The note is from Colton. He just said he realized he won't be home during the time needed tomorrow. He apologizes that he won't be available then, so we probably should have a different person that can take care of that.
No worries.
Or heck, let me know. I'll sit here and figure this thing out. Whatever we
No
gotta
worries.
do.
No worries, Colton. We got you. Make sure to follow up on and watch the replay of the live stream, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next question.
No, so this question is from Maxwell Garcia. She said, what are your pain points regarding your clients?
Pain points.
I hear his pain points, not enough of them.
So I guess the biggest thing is that I'm constantly having to have the same conversation with, are you asking about current clients or are you asking about potential clients?
My guess is going to be current clients.
Current clients.
Pain points is currently experiencing with them.
Honestly, there's not a lot of pain points with clients. And I think it's just because of the atmosphere that we've been able to put together, that they come and see me, I take care of them. Our satisfaction rate is out the roof. I guess if I was to say a pain point, it'd be that they're not talking about my practice as much as I would like them to, even though they're super happy about it. Like I would like there to be a little bit more buzz around my practice, or, obviously word of mouth, like I said earlier, is where we've gotten a lot of our clients. But after 3.5 years and we're at 65%, I'm wondering why my patients aren't telling other people, or maybe they just don't have an avenue to tell other people. I guess that would be a pain point. Gosh, that's it. If you're asking about pain points for potential clients, it's just that I had to explain this every time. Like I got to explain the process of DPC because nobody's ever heard of it. It's new to everybody. So I'm constantly like going through this whole spiel. So it is kind of time consuming to do that. That's a good problem to have, I suppose, if I have a lot of people coming in, but certainly is pretty time consuming.
Awesome. Next question is from Nate Mert. This is technically answered because you did answer this. When would you like to hit this 90%?
By the end of this year.
Yeah. Next
Um,
questions. Oh, go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
We'll call it the end of this year. Well, we're in August, October, November, December. Yeah. So 60 patients in 4 months. I feel like that's pretty doable. Right. Yeah, I'd like to hit that by the end of this year.
Awesome. Awesome. Next question is from Gio. How much would you be willing to spend in order to gain one customer or one 4-person family?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that, Gio. How much am I willing to spend for one person? Gio, well, if I got a family, and that adds up to, I don't know, $150, $200, $300. I honestly don't know. You might have to tell me what's a reasonable answer on that, because I just don't know. I'm a doctor, not a marketing person.
Awesome. Awesome. Next question. So this is a 2-piece question. This might be the closer, but there's more questions after it, but it's
Okay.
just to ask it now. The way things are, how much longer can you keep your doors open? That's part 1. And part 2 is how would you like to proceed from this point?
How does that what?
How would you like to proceed from this point?
Really good question. Closing questions. Okay. So how much longer can you do what you're doing now, right? So how okay, as is, how can you proceed as is? And one more time, that last one.
How would you like to proceed from this point? Oh yeah, the first one is how long can you keep the doors open the way things are?
Okay. This is how long? Doors stay. Okay, so as is, I mean, we can stay open. It's just we're tight, right? I don't like being tight on this. So if you're asking me if we're going out of business tomorrow, no, we're not going out of business tomorrow. We can maintain. I think we're kind of at that break even point right now. 65% is that break even point. So some months we're ahead, you know, some months we're, you know, in the black, some months we're in the red. I don't, obviously, as a business owner, I don't, that stresses me out. I'd rather just be doing medicine. So yeah, we can proceed for however long we need to. Honestly, I at this point, I kind of want to hear what you have to say, and what you think might be a good idea to put together, because you're the marketing expert. That's why I'm coming out to you. So maybe just give me some ideas.
So I have a question. It's not necessarily a question to ask you, but I can flip it into a question to ask you.
Okay.
It's from DNA FILMR. It said, I don't think this type of service exists in Canada. So basically, does this service exist in Canada, or can you confirm that as a doctor? So if they do, is that an option that you offer? That might be a telemedicine thing.
Well, most people have said that they don't think that this practice exists in the United States. So let's go to trusty Google and check to see if it's in Google. Okay. Where are you located at in Canada? Whoever asked that.
If he's not answering, I'm based in the UK. We have the NHS, which is like a Barack Obama service. So I didn't even think you had DPC in the UK.
So are we talking about the UK or are we talking about Canada?
The question was about Canada, but if they don't answer, it will be good to understand for UK.
Okay, let's see. DPC Canada. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm in the United States, so maybe we got to go by city. Direct primary care. Ontario, Canada. Direct primary care, dpc.org. New proposals after 15 years to reform Science Direct. Not sure what Science Direct is. directprimarycare.org. Let's go here. I don't know. I've never seen this. So you may have to go in and see if they actually have DPCs in Canada and the UK, because obviously the insurance industry and the medical industry is different in the States than it is in Canada. So honestly, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I would just do some research and see if you can find whether they have DPC in wherever it is you live. There's some articles here you might be able to read. Primary care doctors who focus on personalized care and wellness. Yeah, you might just have to do a little bit of research.
Cool. I think I've got it. I think they do it in the UK, but it's not as big. So yeah, there's a market for it.
Yeah, there absolutely is. If there's an insurance industry, there's a market for this kind of medicine. So really good question. Okay, how many more questions do we have, Alan?
We have about 4 or 5 more at the most.
Okay.
Oh, actually about 3.
Three more, and then we'll end it up here. Send it.
Awesome. Don't laugh. I got my little mascot over here helping me out.
All right.
So next question is, how does a monthly subscription offer differ from traditional insurance payment? Outside of longer visit time with you, what are the benefits that patients get for choosing a DPC?
Okay, what are benefits? Okay, so there's not going to be a deductible, right? You pay your subscription, and then if you need to be seen, you come and get seen, and I take care of you. So I think that's a big benefit, obviously. More access to your doctor. You don't have to pay an insurance, like the insurance premium that you're paying right now. You could probably reduce your cost a lot there, and still get better care. I mean, anytime that you can reduce your costs and get something for better, probably a good thing. Let's see here. What else? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I answered that we could probably go into, that would cover all that. But does that answer your question? Hopefully so.
Hey, David, this is Thielen. That was my question. And I'm kind of seeing my doctor like that right now with the 5-minute visits and the tele calls or whatever. But for someone who doesn't go into the doctor as much, I mean, it sounds like a great plan or subscription for someone who has to see a doctor quite often.
Mm-hmm.
But paying a monthly subscription when you're not like Colton, hadn't been to the doctor in over a year and a half, what's the benefit?
Okay, so the big benefit is that we're going to keep you healthy, as opposed to you just going to the doctor when something's wrong, right? Because at that point, it's already wrong. Medicine 50 years ago, when there was a relationship between the patient and the doctor was able to monitor and have a baseline of what was normal and what was out of normal. So you were able to keep somebody healthy on that baseline, as opposed to just seeing a random person. Like, okay, I'm a doctor, and some random person comes in and they're telling me all of a sudden something's wrong. I need to know their past history, right? Their past medical history is really important. And if we have that relationship, it's easier for us to help you maintain health. So I guess what I'm trying to say is keep you healthy as opposed to just reacting. So being proactive instead of reactive.
So basically you're a accessible primary care.
Yeah. I mean, Thielen, so let me ask you this. What is the reason that you don't go to your doctor? Is it because you feel fine, or is it because like it's just a pain in the butt to go? Or I guess the better question is, would you go to your doctor all the time if it was easy to go to your doctor, if it helped you stay healthy over the long term?
Probably not. I'm probably like 90% of males. I go when or when my wife makes the appointment. Other than that, I don't go.
Sure.
And
okay.
I probably wouldn't go just because it's easier to go. I mean, I'm just trying to see what the benefit. I'm really trying to understand the benefit of your service to actually help you solve your problem. So
Sure.
I'm not quite understanding the benefits of your service, the full benefits of your service right now, to better help.
That's one of the things that, you may not ever get it, right? You may never get it, right? What do they say? A person that has their health has a million dreams, but a person that doesn't have their health has one dream, right? And that's to be healthy. So for me as a doctor, Dr. David, pretend Dr. David, what I'm trying to do is keep people healthy so that they can have the million dreams. I don't want to see people only when, shit hits the fan and they're all of a sudden not feeling good. And we are, 3 or 4 stages into their illness. I would like to keep them healthy and make sure that they stay that way. So that may not make sense to you. That may not be a benefit to you, but in all reality, your health is really all you have, right? As soon as your health is gone and you're struggling with your health, it's hard to come back from. So maybe that's something you see benefit in. Maybe it's not. Direct primary care might not be for everybody, but it is for a lot of people. Next question.
All right, next question is actually the last question we have listed. Thielen also gave some resources we can look at. It says DPC practice locations. That's in the link. That's in the chat. But the next question is, what is type? So you said some months are in the black, some months are in the red. do you have money now to spend on a viable solution to help you fix this problem?
Do you have money for video? Is that what you're asking me, Thielen?
Not for video. I'm just asking, do you have money now to spend?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Because and the reason I asked, because you said it was tight. I heard you come just following your conversation. You said it was tight. So much you're in the red, so much you're in the black. So
yeah. So we do have money to spend. It's not going to be $1 million. I don't need a Super Bowl commercial. I need something that is going to be effective. But yeah, I have enough money that I want to invest into whatever the solution is going to be. Cool. All right, guys, this is a ton of questions.
I will say there was one more that just slipped in. That was a really good one.
Is it a good one, Alan, or are you just messing with me?
It ended up being 2 questions that popped in, but the first one I just read was actually a pretty good one.
All right, send me the pretty good one.
All right, pretty good ones from Lee. She said, is there a limit of visits I can receive with you in 1 month period of time without additional expenses to the subscription cost?
No. Next one.
Shoot, sign me up. Okay, next question. Last question, I think it's from Joshua again. He said, the benefit of a DPC from perspective of building a baseline and monitoring diet. Oh, this is information. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll read it out. The benefit of a DPC from perspective of building a baseline and monitoring diet, weight, stress, sleep cycles, exercise recovery, mental health, etc., would definitely be very valuable over time.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So here's what I want to do, guys. I obviously was pretending to be a doctor. And the reason that I was able to land deals in this industry is because I was able to ask the questions and understand it to the point where I could sit here and talk about it as if I was a doctor for the last hour. Okay. So discovery is incredibly important, that you dig in and really figure out what is going on. There's a lot of questions up here. So here's the challenge now. Okay. I need you guys to send me a PM and shoot me your email address. I'm going to export these questions to a PDF and I'm going to send it to you via email tonight. And I want everybody to come up with ideas. I want you to come up with a strategy that is going to help Dr. David accomplish what he wants to accomplish, and maybe things that he doesn't even know he wants to accomplish. Because you guys asked some questions that Dr. David probably wasn't thinking about, but if you put it on the table, he's going to be like, dang, that's a good idea. So there's opportunity to do that. So send me a PM. I will export this now as a PDF. Just send me your email. I'll send it over. This only works, guys, if people show up tomorrow, and we can do this training again tomorrow. Okay. So we will all come together. We'll put our ideas together. We'll come up with a strategy. And then on Friday, we will go through a closing scenario where we can close a deal with Dr. David. Okay. Let me go over here to the gallery. Looks like we had a few people drop off, which is all right. Is this helpful, guys? Is this kind of stuff helpful? Okay, cool. We're going to do this for DPC. We're going to do this for home builders. We're going to do this for the tech industry, and we're going to do this for home services at the minimum. That way you guys can go and do what I've been able to do, which is close deals with these guys and have fun doing that. So with that said, guys, I'll go ahead and end this. Hopefully everybody shows up tomorrow. Bring your strategies with you. If you're in the course, put a flow chart together if you can. Give me a good idea of what I can expect to see for Dr. David, and email addresses so I can send this over to you guys. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Everybody have a good night.
Take care.
Hey, appreciate you again. Good stuff.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Alan, for being the MC.
Hey, it felt great.
Awesome. All right, guys. Good stuff.